Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're just starting your journey in programming or web dev, I totally get it. Opening up a coding interface for the very first time, it can feel incredibly intimidating. It looks complex, there are buttons absolutely everywhere, and it is so easy to just feel overwhelmed right out of the gate. But today, we're going to change that. We're going to take Visual Studio Code, or VS Code as most people call it, and transform it from this scary blank canvas into your friendly, super-powered coding assistant. By the time we wrap up here, you're going to be navigating the world's most popular code editor just like a pro. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start by meeting your new workspace. Then we'll literally build your first project, power things up with extensions, learn to navigate like a pro, and finally, dive into tracking, testing, and debugging. All right, let's jump right into part one, meeting your new workspace and demystifying that interface. Okay, so when VS Code opens for the first time, please don't panic. We can actually break this whole layout down into 5 super simple logical zones. First up, on the far left, you've got the activity bar. Just think of this as your main menu for searching and tweaking settings. Second, right next to it is the Explorer. This is where all your files and folders live, and honestly, you'll spend a lot of time organizing things right here. Third is that massive empty space right in the middle. That's the editor area, your main workspace where the actual coding happens. Fourth, running all along the bottom edge is the status bar. That gives you quick info like your line numbers or what language you're currently typing in. And fifth, usually hiding right at the bottom of your editor area, is the terminal panel. This little guy lets you run commands without ever having to leave the app. If you just keep these 5 zones in mind, the whole interface instantly stops being this confusing maze. Moving right along to section 2, building your first project, because the absolute best way to learn is by doing. I've actually got a challenge for you right now. We're going to build your very first basic web project structure right alongside this explainer. So if you have VS Code open, feel free to follow along. Setting this up is literally 4 steps. Step 1, just make a new folder somewhere on your computer, the desktop is fine, and name it My First Project. Step 2, jump into VS Code, click File, hit Open Folder, and select that folder you just made. Easy, right? Now for step 3, look over at that Explorer panel on your left. Right-click in the empty space and create a new file called index.html. Finally, step 4, do the exact same thing, but create a file called style.css. And boom. Just like that, you've set up a standard professional web development project structure. It really is that quick to get your workspace ready for action. Now, to make working on these 2 files a whole lot easier, you're going to want to use a technique called split screen editing. You just made an HTML file for your structure and a CSS file for your design, right? Well, instead of clicking back and forth between 2 tabs all day, a massive productivity killer that developers call context switching, VS Code actually lets you view them side by side. You can just snap your HTML file to the left side of the editor area and your CSS to the right. This means you can build your website's structure and instantly write the design rules for it right next door without ever losing your place. All right, section 3, powering up with extensions. This is where we add some magical superpowers. See, out of the box, VS Code is essentially just a really good text editor. But extensions, they are the secret weapons that make it the most popular editor on the planet. Just look at this before and after. It brilliantly proves exactly why you need them. On the left side, that code is a messy, unformatted nightmare. The spacing's all over the place, the lines are jagged, it's just really tough to read. But on the right, that's what happens after you install a little extension called Prettier. The literal second you hit save, Prettier automatically snaps your code into perfectly clean, readable, professional formatting. You don't have to waste hours aligning your text manually ever again. There are literally thousands of these extensions out there, but as a beginner, you really only need these 3 essentials to start. You can grab them right from the extensions icon in your activity bar. We just saw the first one, Prettier, your automatic code formatter. The second is an absolute must-have for web developers called Live Server. It spins up a local server and automatically refreshes your web browser the exact second you hit save in VS Code. No more manually clicking refresh to see your updates. And the third is Auto Rename Tag. In HTML, tags almost always come in pairs. With this tool, when you change the opening tag, it instantly updates the closing tag for you. These 3 tools alone are going to drastically boost your coding speed right from day 1. Let's keep the momentum going with section 4, navigating like a pro with shortcuts and terminals. If you take away anything from this explainer, make sure you memorize these 2 keyboard shortcuts. Relying on your keyboard instead of your mouse is going to save you countless hours over your coding journey. First, press Ctrl, Shift, and P all at the same time. That opens the command palette. Think of this as your universal search engine for VS Code. You can type in change theme or install extensions, and it just finds it instantly. No digging through endless menus. The second crucial shortcut is Control plus the backtick key. That's that little wavy key right above Tab. That instantly pops open your terminal panel at the bottom of the screen. Now, why is having that terminal open such a big deal? Because it acts as your embedded command center. It lets you do almost everything without ever minimizing the editor window. You can run your programs, install new software packages, handle all your basic file management, and even execute version control commands right there inside VS Code. Whether you are running Python scripts or installing stuff for web app, the terminal brings all that power straight into your workspace. And finally, Section 5, Track, Test, and Debug. Let's talk about building professional developer habits. This is all about setting up the safety nets that the pros use to prevent and, let's be honest, fix mistakes. Because everyone writes bad code sometimes. The first safety net is version control, specifically a tool called Git. Normally, Git is a totally separate program, but VS Code has it built right into the activity bar. This is massive. It lets you track every single change you make to your code over time. Right from the menu, you can see exactly which files you tweaked, stage those changes, commit them to save a major milestone, and crucially, safely restore previous versions if you accidentally break everything. It's quite literally a time machine for your project, sitting right there a click away. Your second major safety net is debugging. Now, the amateur way to find a bug is to just write out a dozen print statements everywhere just to see what your code is doing behind the scenes. It's messy and it clutters up your project. The professional alternative, setting breakpoints. By just clicking right next to a line of code, you create a little red dot. That's a breakpoint. When you run VS Code's built-in debugger, your program will literally freeze execution the exact moment it hits that red dot. While it's paused, you can cleanly look at all your variables and figure out exactly what's going wrong without altering a single line of your actual code. I promise you, it is an absolute lifesaver. So, we have covered a ton of ground today. You now know your way around the 5 main areas of the interface, you know how to set up your folders, how to split your screens so you're not constantly switching tabs, and how to fly around using the command palette and the terminal. Plus, you've got the essential extensions to keep your code looking sharp, and you know how to track your progress and squash bugs like a pro. You've got the workspace, you've got the extensions, you have the superpowers. So, my final question to you is, what are you going to build first? Get in there, start experimenting, don't be afraid to make a few mistakes, and most importantly, have fun with it. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.
If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, like this video, comment your favorite programming language, subscribe to Future BreaK CodeR, because many exciting coding and futuristic tech videos are coming soon.